Hi, I'm Rachel Harper, and today I'm going to show you how to put on stage makeup. All the products that I'm going to use you can find at your local Walmart or Target. You can also buy personal Ben Nye Theater makeup kits on Amazon. Now before the day of your performance, be sure to test your makeup for any irritations or allergic reactions. When picking your makeup, choose a shade that is closest to your skin tone. If you happen to be between two different shades, pick the darker one. All right, now I'm gonna go wash my face and we'll get started. My face is washed and I've already done my daily skincare routine. So what I'm gonna do first is I am going to prime my face, and I'm using a Wet n Wild Photo Focus Matte Primer. And what this does is it creates a base for your foundation and it helps the foundation to stay in place. And my primer is nice and dry. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go with my foundation. You'll wanna have a medium to full coverage foundation, and that will depend on the evenness of your skin tone, whether or not you have little blemishes or redness in certain areas. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my foundation and I'm gonna put it on to my skin here. And I have a beauty blender, which I really enjoy being able to use these to apply makeup to my face. And then I'm going to put it all over my face. And I'm gonna start working it in. Alright, so now I've applied the foundation to my face, and you'll notice that I carried my makeup down to my neck and neckline. And the reason why I did this is because when I'm on stage, I want to make sure that my face matches my neck and neckline. We don't want them to be two different colors. So what I recommend is for you to put on your costume before you put on your makeup, and you can put some paper towels over top of it, that way nothing gets on it, and you can then carry your makeup down to where it is and follow your neckline, and even go underneath it a little bit if your costume shifts a little bit, but that way you're able to get all the skin that's visible from the stage. Alright, the next step that we're going to do is we're going to create structure for the face. And the reason why we do this is because when you're on stage and you have the bright light shining on you, what they do is they create an overexposure and they flatten your face as well as wash it out. So what we will have to do is we'll have to create dimension. The way we do that is we create highlight and contour or shadow. And highlight is going to be a lighter color and it's going to push things forward, and the shadow or contour is going to be a darker color and it's going to pull things back. So I'm going to look at my face and I'm going to see where it naturally comes forward and where it naturally sets back. So my cheekbones and here my eyes, the tips of my nose, the front of my forehead, my chin, and even just a little bit on my Cupid's bow. That's where I'm going to apply the highlight. And then here on the underneath my cheekbones in the hollows of my cheeks, that's where I'm going to apply shadow. Here in the temples is where I'm going to apply shadow because it naturally dips there. A little bit up in my crown. I'm also going to accentuate my jawline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, it's a concealer, but it is a lighter color, and I'm going to apply it in those places that I want to bring forward. So just a real quick step, the makeup that I have been using so far has been a cream makeup, and I'm about to switch to a powder makeup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mattify my face by using a translucent finishing powder. And so the reason why I did this mattifying powder is it helps set the cream makeup that I have used, and it helps prevent it from sliding. So next what I'm going to get is my contour. And I happen to have a combination kit here. It is an e.l.f. contour palette, and it has highlight colors as well as contour colors. And so you're gonna wanna make sure that it is a darker color that you get. And a brush that I highly recommend getting is going to be a angled brush here, a contour brush, and that helps really create those fine details. All right, so now I have done my contour and highlight, and I have now created dimension and depth to my face. Next, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to apply blush, and what the blush does, it brings life to the face. The lights, like I said, they flatten the face, but they also they wash it out, they can make you look a little sickly. So what we do is we add blush to bring life to the face. And the areas that you're gonna want to apply it is where a face would naturally be rosy, in the cheeks. That would also be where the sun hits your face the most. All right, so I'm gonna take my blush, and you're gonna wanna make sure that it's not a very pinky color. You're gonna wanna go for a more dusty rose color. All right, so I'm gonna add that to my cheekbones. And you're gonna add more than you typically would in everyday wear, because we're going to want everyone on stage to be able to see it. I also like to apply some to the top part of my face, just because the sun would naturally hit there. So now that we've applied structure to our face, we're gonna move on to our eyes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add eyeshadow, and most guys won't have to worry about this step. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to get a natural color palette. This one happens to work with my skin tone. And I'm gonna go for a medium shade, and I'm gonna put that in my crease. So the crease is right here where your eyelid goes and bends. So I'm gonna put this here. I'm just gonna tap it in for a moment. All right, and then as I go to blend, I'm gonna make sure that my fingers are further down my brush handle, and this helps create a more even blend. That way there aren't any harsh lines, and I'm just creating little circles as I go and I blend it in. Now my eye happens to be almond shaped. If you happen to have hooded or a monolid eye, you're gonna want to create a crease. You're not gonna want to put it in your natural crease, because if you do, we won't be able to see all the beautiful work that you've done. So what you'll wanna do is you'll wanna look straight into the mirror. Look straight into the mirror, and you're gonna put the brush here where you would be able to see, and you are going to create your own crease. That way we can see everything. So I'm gonna move on to my next eye. I'm gonna do the same thing. All right, so I'm happy with the amount of coverage that I have. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take a more pointed eyeshadow brush, and I'm gonna go into this darker color, and I am going to go to the outer parts of my eyes, and I'm just going to pat that in. And I'm gonna create a bit of a triangle. So I'm gonna go here on this outer part, and I'm gonna bring it into my eyelid just a little bit. I'm just gonna pat that in for a moment. And this helps create depth into your eyeshadow. So you can see here, I kind of created a little bit of a triangle shape. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the brush that I used for my crease and I am going to blend it in. That way it is nice and seamless. All right, and so I'm gonna do the same thing to the other eye. All right, so now I've completed that part, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a more flat brush and I'm going to take this light color here and I am just going to pat that onto my lid and carry it to the inside. And that's just gonna help brighten up your eye. And you can add it to the deep inside of your eyes to help brighten it up as well. Now that I'm done with my eyeshadow, I'm going to move on to my eyeliner. And how much eyeliner and where you put it will depend on your eye shape as well. If you have more round, larger eyes, you can get away with doing top and full bottom. But if you have more narrow eyes, like I have more almond eyes, you're going to want to do thin up in the top. You can go a little thicker at the ends, but then you only want to carry it a little bit in on the bottom. And what you'll do to make up for that is you'll put your mascara on your lower lashes to just help create that structure, that line, but not have it so thick and bold. That way your eyes don't look like they're closed up. Alright, and you can see here that I added it to the top and only just a little bit here on the bottom lash. And I like to use a liquid eyeliner because your eyelids are going to be the most oily part of your skin, and under the stage lights it can shift and move, so having a liquid liner will help keep it in place. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my mascara, and I'm going to do full on my top lashes, and I'm going to barely pat the bottom to help complete my eye shape. And what you'll want to do is get enough mascara on your little tool, your little brush, and you'll put it on your lash and you will roll it out, and that helps get the most out of your brush and helps keep your eyelashes in place. Now I've completed my eyes, I'm going to move on to my eyebrows. And you'll definitely not want to skip this step because your eyebrows will be able to express your emotions. And the eyebrow pencil that I have happens to have a brush, so I like to brush my eyebrow upwards, my hair upwards, just to make sure that none of the makeup that I had put on today got inside and helps create the shape that I want it to be. You'll want to make sure that it's good and sharpened. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flick it up and create little lines like little hairs. Now that I've completed my eyes, I'm going to move on to my lips. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a color that is just a couple shades darker than my natural lip color. If you have a deeper skin tone, then a beautiful red will look great on your lips. And you'll want to make sure that you don't overline your lips. That's not necessary for the stage. Now I've completed my entire face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it with a finishing spray. This helps keep all the makeup that I've worked so hard to put on my face stay, and that way I don't have to touch it up as much or even at all. One more tip I have for you. As much time and energy as you put into putting on your makeup, you'll want to do the same for taking it off. Now, I know it can be very tiring having a long day of performances and you don't just want to go to sleep at night, but it is actually quite damaging to leave your makeup, especially theater makeup, on your face and sleep in it. So you'll need to cleanse it. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this has been helpful. Keep practicing and performing. Bye.